Hi everyone, I hope life is treating you kindly. I'm Lubomira and welcome to all my crafty friends new and returning. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is day 9 of the holiday card series. I can't believe it's already been 9 days of sharing projects with you. I've loved every minute of it and I hope you have too. If you've missed any of the previous videos, I'll link them in the description below so you don't miss out on any of the crafty goodness. Today's card came about because of the cute stamp set I found while I was straightening up and completely forgot about. Yes, I have been known to misplace a thing or two. I really love this little angel stamp set from Pink and Maine. And when I first filmed this card, I saw that you could still pick it up from some retailers. But since doing the voiceover, scrapbook.com has discontinued it. I usually try and use things that you can still purchase, but this image was too cute and this card was too precious not to share with you. I hope you won't hold that against me. I'm excited to show you this card, so let's get into the video. First, I placed the image into my positioning platform and stamped the image in intense black ink. I then colored the image using Copic markers. I've left the coloring in the video, but if you don't like coloring, please feel free to skip ahead. I know it's not for everyone. The image was really a treat to color because it's nice and big. At first glance, it reminded me of the Precious Moments figurines that were popular when I was growing up. Do they even make Precious Moments anymore? Anyway, for the most part, I followed my usual technique of coloring. I applied the lightest color to the majority, if not all the area I was coloring, and worked up to the darkest in the areas where I wanted shadow. Then I worked back down to the lightest to blend out any harsh lines. There are 2 exceptions in this colored image that stray from the usual process. The first is that I created a gradient in the angel's dress so that the material looks darker at the hem of the feet and the sleeves. As a result, the darkest color I used wasn't actually for shadows. The second variation is that I included colors in the hair and skin that I wouldn't normally. Considering how much blue and violet there are in this card, I played with the idea of the color blue and purple casting a reflection on the skin and hair, which is why I included a light purple and blue in the actual color blend. It is very subtle and really just adds a highlight in the hair and deepens the shadow by the face.
I've been waiting all year for my Christmas gifts, making a list. Shiny, wrapped up in a bow, something just for me. Baby, you're my wish. What my heart is longing for now, what I really want to see, what I really want underneath my Christmas tree. Getting caught up in the spirit, knowing that it's coming soon. Pretty red and green tinsel all around the room. Singing the old carols by candlelight, roasting chestnuts on the open fire. Every little thing with you just feels right, so right, 'cause Santa always comes at night. I've been waiting on this Sunday glow since last New Year's Eve, 'cause Santa always comes at night, Santa always comes at night. Moonbeams in late December always make me believe, 'cause Santa always chestnuts on the open fire. Every little thing with you just feels right. So right, 'cause Santa always comes at night. I've been waiting on this sunset glow since last New Year's Eve. 'Cause Santa always comes at night. Santa always comes at night. Moonbeams in late December always make me believe. 'Cause Santa always comes at night. Santa always comes at night, yeah. I've been waiting on this sunset glow since last New Year's Eve. Santa always comes at night. Santa always comes at night. Yeah, I've been waiting on this sunset glow since last New Year's Eve. 'Cause Santa always comes at night. Santa always comes at night. Moonbeams in late December always make me believe. 'Cause Santa always comes at night. Santa always comes at night, yeah.
When I was done coloring, I added some white highlights with the white gel pen and then some Wink of Stella across the dress to give it some shimmer. After finishing the image, I fussy cut it using some scissors. For the background, I took a piece of light blue cardstock and deepened the color by ink blending Distress Oxide ink in the color Chip Sapphire across one of the top corners and moving downward to create a gradient so that the lower corner on the opposite side looked lightest. After blending, I created a mask from 4-inch mint tape. I cut a free-handed rounded shape to cover the lightest corner at the bottom of my panel. Then, using a stencil, I created some sparkling twinkles in the background with picket fences paper glaze in the Arctic fox color. This glaze dries fairly quickly, so I was able to move the stencil and apply more stars to one of the sides that the stencil didn't cover. I tested the dryness of the stars gingerly with a finger. They weren't soft and mushy, but slightly firm. I'm sure if I applied more pressure, I may have smudged them, but feeling confident that I wouldn't, I added the missing stars very carefully to fill in the gap. My intention was to stamp a sentiment in the lightest corner area. However, I ended up getting some kind of smudge or discoloration in that place. I'm pretty sure no one would have noticed but me. However, I ended up changing the design to include the circle panel in the corner. Because I included the panel, I could have been less careful with stenciling. When I was done, I removed the mask to reveal the finished background. As I mentioned, my original design changed midway through, and that's okay. That's one of the beautiful parts about creating. A design evolves as you work. Sometimes it's by choice, and sometimes it's because of mishap. I die cut a large circle about 4 inches in diameter from the same color cardstock as the background. I positioned it so that it went past the corner of the panel and secured it with some low-tack tape. After it was in place, I used my trimmer to cut the overhang, creating a rounded panel with a corner. Usually, I do this at the end of making a card, but it was easier for the next step, getting the placement of my sentiment with the circle trimmed. For the greeting, I chose Joy to the World. I used Pretty Pink Posh's Holiday Script stamp set for this greeting. I first stamped the word Joy in blue pigment ink on that same blue cardstock I had used earlier. In fact, I used the scrap left over from the circle die cut. After stamping, I applied clear embossing powder to the wet ink and then heat set it with my heat tool. Off camera, I die cut the joy using the coordinating die along with 3 additional layers of the same blue cardstock. I layered the greeting with the additional pieces, attaching everything with liquid glue. For the second part of the greeting, I put the card panel with the rounded panel still attached into my stamping platform and arranged the phrase where I wanted. I prepped the area with an anti-static tool and stamped the word in Versamark ink. Then I applied white embossing powder to the wet ink. When the word was completely coated, I heat set it with my heat tool. Next, I attached my background to a white card base using liquid glue. With the help of my stamping platform, I attached the rounded panel to the card front using foam squares. I glued the greeting into place over the other stamped phrase and then added my angel to the corner using more foam squares. Lastly, I added some iridescent drops to the card front for some additional shine. And that's it for this card. I love how this card came out. There were a few bumps in the road, but everything worked out in the end. I really enjoyed coloring the little angel, and the background turned out stunning. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today for the 9th day of the holiday card series. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did sharing it with you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, leave me your thoughts in the comments below. I'm always excited to see what you have to say. Now, I know tomorrow would have been day 10 of the holiday card series, but since it is Thanksgiving, I'm going to be taking a break from the count. For those in the states that celebrate, I'm sure you're all going to be busy cooking or traveling to be with loved ones. I'll be heading into New York City to spend the day with my mother-in-law. She'll be cooking up a storm because, well, you know, I don't cook. She loves doing it, and we all love eating what she makes. So it's a win-win. Happy Thanksgiving from our home to yours, my friends. I wish you all a safe and peaceful celebration, a moment of serenity to count blessings, and a promise of hope to overcome tribulations. I hope you'll join me back on Friday for day 10 of the holiday card series. Until then, have a wonderful night, and I hope life treats you kindly. Take care. Bye.